So, here we are back in Minecraft again. It's been a little while since I've played. Well, played and recorded actually. But I've been a bit busy with this world. And right now it's actually primed for 1.17 when a major snapshot comes out. But I don't plan on playing it until then. This video is also to just make sure everything is not broken, which it probably is because I started this world on the 1.14 snapshots. But I think it's best, this is a fairly big world for the 2 years I've had it. I don't know, I kind of spread a lot of things out because I don't want to keep them clustered together a lot. But I started somewhere way back there in the snowy areas and found a shipwreck, and that became my home. And I'm currently in creative because this is a backup of the world, so yeah. And I cleaned up this place. It had a lot of water in it, cleaned all that out, made my bedroom in here. It's kind of nice. I replaced a lot of the wood because spruce is the best wood. And I wanted to experiment a lot in this wood with just building styles and trying to do different stuff. And I tried to mess around with redstone. And I still hate it to this very day. But I made this door that I always keep open. It's if it keeps in a certain rotation, it opens. Down here I have a villager trading farm and a lot of resources, some maps I made. I'll get to where I built those later because they're actually close by. But this base is not finished. I haven't gotten to building more of it yet. Down here I have a bit more behind the scenes stuff. I love behind the scenes stuff, but it's where I get a lot of organic stuff just without having to care about something looking nice or not. But leaving this place, actually I should just be in spectator because that would be easier, wouldn't it? Leaving this place, I have this place. When I first started here, there was a lot of spruce trees. I cut a lot of them down but kept the bases of some of them and then just spammed lanterns everywhere because they're so much better than torches to me. Then I got a lot of pets. I don't know, I actually can't. I should go back to creative because it won't show their names. This one also wasn't named. But I got a lot of cats from a 1.14 village nearby. And I don't even remember what I was talking about. I did a lot of stuff. Everything's kind of jumbled up together. And I don't remember where most of the named animals are. You guys aren't named. I know this is Better Nat. I don't remember you. I don't remember you. I think we had one named Nyla. That's Better Nyla. I forgot about this actually. We had one named Onyx. I don't know where she is. And I thought I had one named Garfield, but might have died. But I have a lot of pets scattered around. And a lot of bamboo because I love just clustering bamboo everywhere. But I tried to put a lot of aesthetic over this world. This area was around the first things I built. And I built the aqueducts for this farm. I think it looks really nice. And I really like it. I think this was a natural cave and I just destroyed it. Over here, this is a later thing I built, but I wanted to make a sewer system just for it to be dark and all mobs could spawn there instead of up around here. but I might get rid of it or move it deeper or so on. Next thing I built past the aqueducts, actually, was a mob farm. It was around here, though, before I placed the bamboo. But there were a lot of foxes nearby, and they killed all my chickens, because they don't act like regular foxes. So I have a little fox sanctuary around this path. Then these guys actually should all be tame, or semi-tame. They shouldn't run away from me, I don't think. And every so often I let a few of them out, just because. Then, after all the foxes ate my chicken, I worked on this, which was one of my big projects. It's like a shipping dock. But I just put in mobs, a lot of chickens. This was a later addition for breeding a lot of mobs. I also worked on getting a lot of achievements, and some of them were very hard. This little bird nest I built later on, because every time I get eggs from the chickens, I would throw it at this specific tree every time. So I just decided to build a bird nest, and I actually really like it. Down here, I have more behind the scenes stuff. A cactus farm. This is very loud, but there's a melon and pumpkin farm just crammed in the walls. I don't remember what I even built and when. Everything is very clustered together. This is a furnace array. This was around when the 1.15 rolled out, so I built a greenhouse for the bees, and underneath that there's more farming stuff. And I messed around a lot with the honeycomb and the honey block, and I was gonna make a joke based on how the honeycomb looked like waffles. So it's more like a waffle cone, and then somehow it developed into honey ice cream. If that looks like it. It kind of looks like a microphone, actually. Then this is bits of the nether and end. I just clump everything together and make them newer again. This is a furnace array I had. It's not very good, but I use it, so. But going to the greenhouse, because why mess with order, I filled it up with a lot of flowers. Can we talk for a second? Why can smoke go through trapdoors and affect the bees, but fences and things like scaffolding can't do that? I don't understand that at all. And seeing the industrial size of honey I needed for that, it's filled in. The inside of that is full of honey. You'll see where I got that from. But down here, I have a much more industrial looking farm for stuff. More wheat. I really love using the waterlogged stairs. They're really good kind of canals. And then more pumpkins, melons, and sugarcane. I used to have a zero-tick farm for them. That's actually why I have creative and cheats enabled in this world, is because just maintenance, making sure everything's okay, and countless times where I've stopped myself from dying because of lava. That's because if you have an elytra enabled in lava, you will guaranteedly die. And that should not be allowed, because I just spam fireworks and I don't get anywhere. It's not as laggy as I thought it would have been, because there's so many campfires and so many beehives, and I don't think all of them are even full. But this is where... oh no! It's fine, this is backup. but this is where I collected all that honey. Where did they come from? This is very ominous. It sounds like a swarm, because it is. But around here, actually, I don't know if I don't know where it was, but, and I didn't touch it, but I actually found found skeleton spawner. And I don't know, I just didn't need it really, so I just locked it up and ignored it. Now, I need to stop doing that. There we go. We have Kung Fu Doggo here. Are you Onyx? I'm stuck. No, you're not. What happened to Onyx? I don't know what happened to her. I had one named Onyx. That is strange. Now going to the village that I ignored for way too long. I had a villager breeder here. This all naturally generated. They just added a lot of sugarcane and constantly fixed the farms. I actually added that one. I added this farm just because this was the first villager breeder I made. It doesn't work very well. I just tried to make it like a UFO style thing because I don't trust the villages to breed on their own. It doesn't work very well though. And that's about it in this area. Going past it, there's a remnant of a ruined city that I'm still not done with. And a lot of these, I like to give them story, so be prepared to hear my awful voice for explaining a lot of just one build. What happened? Yeah, this is a backup. Oh, I also made this. This was just me trying to expand the village a bit. But around here, this is where I made a much better villager breeder. I don't know how, but this works just way better. And it spawns in a lot of iron golems for some reason. I don't know how. But this is a remnant of an ancient group of people, or a species, that built a lot of canals. This entire world basically is a lot about that remnant of species, and the best I can describe them is as the piglins from the Nether, but they're not the piglins. They're just very nasty to anyone who's not of their kind. And they worship the creeper, I believe. This is why there's a lot of stuff. And they had lots of big canals going around here transporting liquids with some kind of metal that ages into different colors just as it rusts. And this is just the ruins of it. They're now extinct. This is kind of a really poorly made ice farm that I'm choosing to have it be a part of this build. This is around when 1.16 came around. I decided to add the portals. It was actually really fun messing about with it, and I like this one a lot. It looks really cool. And eventually I'm going to go to the Nether because a lot of my builds are scattered around again. But we're going to see a lot of these guys. They're all over the place. Basically every ruined thing is them. The furnace array, I made it, but it's them. It's their poor redstone, not mine. Redstone is just bad. It's bad. I do programming and it's better than this. That's like assembly code. Not even. It's worse. This around here, again, I spawned way over there. passed around here a lot actually, and I decided to name this the Creeper Woods after dungeons, and I built a big fossil of an old creeper. And I actually spent a lot of time here because I just picked up one patch of podzol and built a lot of dirt around it and was like, alright, let's wait for it to spread. And then I waited forever and it never spread. So I eventually had to place it all myself, and I actually grew the 4 tall trees because they grow the podzol underneath them, so that gave the area a nicer look. This was later on around the greenhouse, but I called this the Trilo project because there's 3 silos. They're not even full, but I thought they were nice. This looks like a bee, and I don't like it. Oh, I'm getting something. I have to go for a minute. Alright, back again. My adapter was being stupid. So, back here, I don't know where I should go next. I don't want to go there, because that area I built a lot into. I guess later on I built the statue, because I always do this in my worlds. This is just a world I've been particularly proud of, because I think I just did good. And I always end up usually building a statue of myself. And I think that looks nice, but it's hard to make like a pixel representation. I couldn't really get my jacket, and it was weird. But it was really fun. Down here, this was a natural cave around here where I kind of just used it to mine. It was a lot smaller. And this goes to the nether. I have a lot of nether portals scattered around that I tried to match up. A lot of these caves down here will be lit or covered in dirt because I have too much of them. And I'll show you where I've gotten them from later on. But down here is my little quarry. There's some slime chunks here. I still haven't figured out where they come from, so it's kind of sad. But let's move on to the nether, because I don't feel like I should show the last area. It's not that special, but I put too much story into it for some reason. And this is the nether. Again, I've just been splicing out a lot of the area and converting a bit of it. This is all nether waste, but I just made it look a little bit nicer. Most of the areas won't be nice though, because I don't like the nether. It's bad. And this is where I would mostly die. This is very recent for piglin trading. Where do these go? I forget. Oh, this goes to a glacier. This goes to my wither skeleton farm that's really bad. And I have a few striders here because I think they look kind of cute. And they make real weird sounds. And I don't know where to start. It's a bit overwhelming for me. This is my gold farm. Again, this is really recent. And I love it because just, have you seen more of a beautiful sight? Actually, I know a more beautiful sight, but it's much slower. It's for here. This is where I found my first zombie spawner. So I decided, hey, let's fortify this place and make the zombies just fall from a big 24 long height, and then they die to my sword and I get lots of stuff and XP. And up around here I have an iron golem farm, which is pretty much even more beautiful than the zombie pigmen, because I hate with a burning passion iron golems. They've killed me so many times. And this is Carl. It doesn't work very well though. Sometimes I AFK it just to get resources and stuff. Moving on from here though, I don't know where to go, as always. So let's see, where does that goes to the end. That goes to a mushroom island. This goes to a desert, which I wanted to build more projects on, and I haven't gotten to it. But I can show what I've worked on so far, actually. It's a very long tunnel. This is what I built. There's pigmen everywhere. This is what I built. A big sword. And I planned on expanding on this area a lot more. Mostly I just dig up this mountain, I think, though. But eventually I'll get around to it. This is where I got a lot of wood that I needed for jungle stuff, which is not much at all. I tried to find bamboo here a lot. I don't think I ever found it, so I grew it. Then I actually found ocelots. I don't remember why I needed them. I think it was to get the advancement of 2x2. I tried to get as many advancements as I could. And I still haven't gotten all of them, or most of them. This is not a hard one, but I should do it. But yeah, I got a lot of the advancements. This is Kate and Sam. I really should have named you Cat. That would have been way better and funnier. Well, to me. Now, a long ways away, I have this. This is my guardian farm. It's not very good. And again, I tried to go for aesthetic. But when I built the portal and I came here, it spawned in the air. So I just built around that another floating island with this amazing, I love this bridge, just going downward. It originally went into the ocean because this was covered up. And then once I drained it, I built the bridge going more down. And I love the look of this bridge. And this project took so long to drain, and it took forever. And it's not that good, just the inside. There's a lot of this happening. That's about it. And around here there should also be a coral reef somewhere, but it's mostly ocean. Yeah, there should be a coral reef because there's lukewarm ocean. I think that's all my portals though, so the rest, either I don't remember them, or I don't know. I have one more thing actually to show before I show that area. Again, that area is not very impressive, but I think I put way too much story into this, so we're gonna be there for a while. This is my little Zen garden. And I want to work on it way more when 1.17 comes out because I need that moss block. It's just going to look so nice. And I don't like the geodes very well because they don't look very good. But they're good. They might be useful. This is actually a later edition. It was originally mostly this area. I tried to make a spiral. Kind of like a crop circle. And I failed. And I tried it again later on, and I still failed. I'll show you where that later on is. But I really like the look of this. I'm gonna eventually just import some pandas in here. I also made this custom tree that looks really nice to me. I'm gonna eventually make it even bigger. I'm gonna make like an underwater section that goes into a moon pool. And it's just gonna be really nice. Hopefully. I don't know if I'll ever show that. Oh, this is what I use the maps for. This little rift here. it doesn't, do you guys see it too? I don't know if you guys can see it with the video, but when I move back or forth, the stars are actually moving. They're moving. They're flickering. They're moving. They're not just flickering. They're just moving. And this was just too much work. Too much work. Then got a lot of concrete powder to make this ooze come out. And it looks nice. I think it looks really nice. Then it's this area. Actually, I could show you where I made the maps from. This should all be new generation. I don't think I've seen this before actually. But these should be new generation. They look similar, but they won't be generated in my original version. And hopefully I'll get the new caves and biomes and mountain generation when that comes out. This area I filled with a lot of sugarcane. I usually get... Oh, I also didn't mention this. I raised a lot of islands. I didn't actually do anything with the underneath, but I just built a lot of islands. Down here, this one has a little lake that you can actually go in. And this is where I bred some turtles. This is where I made a poor massive? It's not that big, but it's a passive mob farm that just hopefully doesn't lag much, and it doesn't have much flowing water or anything. But usually when I got villagers from there, I couldn't take it back to my thing because they'd all get a fisherman job because there's a lot of barrels. But over here, I had a little station where I would constantly place and pick up lecterns until I got the trade that I wanted. And it's awful. I don't have fond memories. But this is where the map I made. This was an oak forest. Actually, was it oak? I don't know. What is it? Forest. It had mostly oak though. Some birch. And I just built the maps here, locked them, and then built the next ones. This was the last one I made. It took so long to clear it out, and then because I didn't want to have so much dirt and I didn't care about the stone because I could just trade it, I cleaned up most of the stone here. This is all carpet, and it should be grass mostly underneath all these. But this just took so long. It would have been easier to do it over an ocean, but I don't know, I do things the hard way. Over here, I originally wanted just to make a quarry, then, I don't know, it just developed out of control a bit. I really like the look of it though. This is supposed to be the stone quarry. I got a lot of stone from here. I messed around with it. I think it looks nice. Again, this was in the snapshot world, so Endermen just love picking up broken grass blocks and placing them around, and they do that anyway, so it's not that different. But I actually blew this up with TNT. And then later on I built the drill. This is again built by that same group of people that I could just describe as hoglins, or piglins I mean. They built the drill. This is the same metal that just changes color with age. And the color doesn't matter based on the age, it just changes. That's what's supposed to be cool about it. This is not a functioning drill, but this is the drill head. This is supposed to be like the part of the tunnel bore, but it never worked. I actually really like this because it makes it like it gives it a closed door look. And I never did that intentionally, but I thought it was really cool. And this will be the last thing I show, because it's the last thing you can think of. But first let's show the other thing. This was my second attempt at a spiral. It still didn't work. It kind of looks like a yin-yang, but it goes down pretty much to bedrock. Then it's filled with black stone and then lava. There was actually a lava pocket nearby, so I just took a lot from that. And I think it looks kind of nice, but it's still just, I can't make a spiral. Can't do that. Now this one, it didn't take me very long, but I put way too much thought into it during the time that I built it. And note the importance. I'm gonna let people think of what it is. Just a moment of pause. But note that right there and this. Note how this is very detailed and this is not. Now this was originally going to be a statue of a man with like his foot on top of a dragon head, and I'm like, I can't do that, so that's not an option. And then I thought something like this, and I was like, yeah, that works. And I built the thing, then I decided, yeah, let's make it a woman. And just while I was building it, I kept thinking, yeah, how's the story of this? And the story came out that this is a woman, or it was a little girl, who found the people, an orphan girl, not of the same type of people. So she was an outcast. But she had this staff that had a lot of power and danger. Every time she'd use it, she'd lose a little bit of herself. That's what all the red is. But the people here hated her. She was not a bad person. She was a good person. She tried to be a fair person, but she was a dictator, which is, I mean, in earlier times that was what happened anyway. So she was not a bad person. She tried to be a fair person, but they hated her. They valued her staff. They never found it, but they valued it. This is the thing that they worshipped, basically. So they had to... That's just creepy. They worshipped this. The richest of the people could be buried next to it. There was a lot of water planted near it. They would think that the energy of it would sap into their graves and just bring them power in the afterlife. But she was just hated. They absolutely hated her. They built a statue because that's what she wanted. She was still a dictator. She wanted to know that she ruled, and she ruled with an iron fist if they didn't do what she wanted. But she tried to be fair, and she was good. And I'm saying this way too much because I'm getting emotional about it for some reason. I don't know where I got this from, but I like it. And when she died, I mean, they just hated her. They wanted the staff. They never found it, so they ended up just worshipping the staff. All the water, all the attention goes to this thing, because it just held so much power that they saw. And nearby, this is a little memorial, but they didn't make this. This grew. She was just thrown into the area and decomposed, because that's how biology works. And the area around here after that civilization died, because they would have just destroyed this place. They would have burned her. They would have kicked her grave. They hated her. But after they were gone, this place grew. A little shrine, because I think she was a nice person. I don't know her name. I call her Laura, but I don't think that was her name. I liked the idea of this though. I'm really proud of it. I like the hairstyle. It looks really nice. It's a bit more 2D or 3D than what I usually make. But that's about it for this world. I didn't make much more. A lot of these projects just took time. I didn't have many farms. I have that little big area of dirt, and I still have a lot more dirt that I eventually just want to build this up with. I want to, again, there's a lot of work. Something I want to work on next eventually is I want to build a lot of rafts like around this area that have just like sunk and some are partially floating, and I think it'll look nice. So this will be kind of like a time capsule of what my world was like, and then I don't know. We'll see what happens. I will eventually get back to this world again when 1.14, 1.17 is near out, or there's a lot of the features and I can just mess around with it, because I just mess around with this world in my snapshots unless it's too broken. I always back up my worlds, because you should do that. I made a lot of backups just cutting out chunks from this world. And yeah. This is my world. It's like 2 years old. It's not that old, but I think I did a lot in it. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye.